do not understand anything else, let me know so that I will walk you through again. Is that fine with you?
Okay.
Okay, great. So you are all able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Sorry, where is my tab? Okay. So in our previous class, just give me 1 minute. It's loading the project. So far it is in disable mode. That's the reason. It is taking some time. So okay, this is very basic project. Okay, normally what it will do is it will take a simple XML file. Okay, this is the XML file which I downloaded from the internet. Okay, so if you see XML example, okay, so go to the Microsoft website. There you can see a example XML file, the same XML file which I am using to transform into the database records. Okay, this is very simple plain application. Okay, so what we did is, in the last session, we created a simple bulk insert query. Okay, sorry, just a moment. Okay, so this is our simple database insert query. Okay, how will you generate this insert query? Go to the MySQL workbench, select any table. Okay, for example, this is my own project. So purchase order, go to the copy to clipboard. Okay, select the insert statement. Okay, I choose the same. So this is our simple insert statement. We are converted into our prepared statement, which is called as normal statement, normal insert query. It will add the values like string quotations or integer values. That is called as normal insert query. If you are inserting bulk, say trillions of records at the same time, the best practices is to use the prepared statement. Why? Because it will generate only one time query mapper. That query mapper will be reused for each and every time. By that way, it will increase performance. That's what we discussed on the last time. Team, if you have any questions in between, please let me know that so that I will explain you again. Okay. So this is the same query. Either what I changed very little bit. Okay. Like this way, instead of I removed all the values from the value section and use it this way. Okay. And comma again, use the some other column name, use the colon. Okay, this is these values are called as, if you define like this is called as named parameters. Okay, why we need to use the named parameters? For example, like this. Okay, why we need to use? To avoid the hacking. Normally SQL injection is a kind of hacking technique which will expose all your database, tables, schemas, and user credentials, all the information. Still, it is using in the hacker side. Okay, so to protect your application, always you need to use the named parameters. If you didn't use the named parameters or anything else, named parameters, so hacker what will we do is in the string quotation, he will pass a query. For example, as he select star from employee. This will execute and it will return the all the information. Okay. The inner queries or anything else, the same approach. You need to this is the best practices you need to apply in your projects. If somebody asks you why you are using the named parameters or what is the some of the best practices, you have to explain like this to avoid the SQL injection and to increase the application performance. We are using the prepare statement. Okay, this is very simple. Okay, so this is our query. So far is fine, right? So far what we did is just I'm reviewing again. Okay, just I will generate it. So let me create a separate project. Okay, instead of modifying this value. So how will you create new project? Either you can right click on your palette. Okay, go to the Mule project. If you are not that way, if you have already existing project, take a control C, which will copy the project and paste it. Okay, so by this way it will copy all your project. So for your clear team, so I'm disabling this project. In the meantime, while it is running, if you have any questions, please let me know that so that I will explain. So while you are copying, you need to change the name of your project. This is called artifact ID. And this artifact ID will be used to generate a jar files, the jar file name, which is called as deployment deployable file. Okay.
Uh,
So yeah, go ahead,
so I have one question. So,
please.
I'm working in TIPCO, and
Okay.
in our case, it is like we generate the ER files, and when we
Mm-hmm.
want same we have a Maven based project, and through Maven we generate the ER file in target folder, and so
Yes.
in this in so when we have to like take a MuleSoft application, in that case we
Mm-hmm.
need to get a jar file instead of, so we don't have such ER file, or
No, we
we are
the, yeah. Let me explain you. Until
okay,
3.x, it is a zip for it is a archived folder, archived directory, archived deployable file. Okay, from 4.x onwards, it is converted to the jar. Okay, so these jar files you can use it to deploy on your servers, Mule ESB servers. Okay, or it can be JBoss or what we called Tomcat. Okay, any of the application server or web servers you can deploy. Okay, it doesn't have any issues. Okay,
okay. In final, we are deploying this application in the any web server, JBoss or
JBoss
Tom.
or application server,
Okay,
application servers, it is called as enterprise like JBoss and all enterprise application servers, and web
yeah,
application servers such as like Tomcat and all these, right?
yeah, got it.
So either you can use those two, or you can MuleSoft itself, it is provided one of the application server which is called as Mule ESB runtime server. Okay, Mule ESB server. Okay,
Okay,
ESB server, you can it will look like same as web server. It has the same bin folder and library folders and each and everything. Okay, so there you can I will show you by end of the session if you have still if you have any questions. So okay. So team, if you have any questions, please let me know that so that I will answer you immediately. So this is the artifact name. It will give you the name of your jar file, or normally these values will be used to download the respected dependency information. For suppose if you are working on a SAP system, SAP connections, so you need to add the dependency like this. Okay, so there it will identify it as artifact ID and group ID. Group ID is nothing but in an organization. Just pretend that it's an organization like Infosys or Amazon. This is an organization. Every organization has different projects inside. Every project may be dependent with the other project. So the project will be called as artifact ID. Okay, every project has the versions like every few months you may need to release to the production, right? To identify the versions or releases, you need to use the version. Okay, based on the version you will come to know that which is the latest project within your organization or within your dependencies. This is the one of the advantages compared to the ant based deployment structure. Previously, before the Maven, people are used the ant scripts to build the projects. Okay, you can ask me a question, why we need to use the Maven? Okay, before that, entire MuleSoft project, all the MuleSoft project, by default, it will support the Maven. Okay, what is the Maven? So
Maven as in
these
M-A-V-N. Sorry.
go ahead.
You said Maven,
Maven, M-A-V-E-N, Maven,
and where is it using it?
which is used to build your project, which it mean, for suppose this information is a human readable, right? So, but system can't understand this information, human readable language. So to transform system understandable language, you need to generate the dot. In Java it is called as dot class files. Okay, in any other project, any other scripting language, you need to compile the code. That compilation will transform into the human understandable language to system understandable language. Okay, that is called as with the help of interpreters. Okay, these interpreters will generate the which it will help to generate the compiled version of your code. So Maven will be used to generate those compiled version of codes. Okay, that is the main intention to use the Maven. Okay, along with that, if you need, it has given it some extra benefits. Automatically it will test your application, which it mean by passing the some commands like mvn clean install. It will clean all your target directory. For example, the clean, it will delete the target directory. Okay, normally you don't need, for most of the times you will work on the Anypoint studio DevOps, but you should good to know that. Okay, and DevOps team, they will use the continuous integration tools. In the continuous integration tools, they will use the Maven plugin in the Hudson, Jenkins, or any other software. There, they will download your code. Then they will use the Maven to build your code and generate the deployable files. Okay, those deployable files will be deployed into the application server or Mule ESB servers. Mule Maven clean, it will delete the target directory. Okay, and install, it will generate the target directory. The target directory contains all your code. Okay, all of the your code, which it can be anything, dependency information, all the information will be generated. So far, if you see, there is no jar which is generated. Why? Because we are not yet build our project. Okay, So how will you build normally in the studio? Right click on your project, run as Mule application. What it happens in the background, it will run the human understandable language code to the system understandable language.